is Motorsport Radio. Join the conversation and have your say on motorsport-radio.com. Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Superbike Show here on Motorsport Radio. We are back and we are live once again for another couple of hours at least. Talk all about what happened at Alton Park, the first round of the showdown in BSB. We'll also be talking about the latest goings on in MotoGP as well, and keeping you up to date with any big news that's emerged from paddock and that might have been breaking in the last few days or so. Plus World Superbike talk as well. We'll be talking about whether Tom Sykes should stay or go. Maybe you might even know where he's perhaps even going to in 2019, if he's going anywhere at all. Do you think that he should stay? Do you think he should go? We're welcoming your thoughts on this tonight on our live show. Plus, we have interviews this evening with Mr. Tom Ward, who we caught up with at the weekend, as well as Mr. Ryan Vickers, and also Josh Watley of Cool Fab Racing fame, and also doing pretty brilliantly in the junior classes at the moment. Can you believe it? He is only just turned 13 years of age. I can't. Doesn't look it, does it? Anyway, my name's Lester. Kiko Giles is back once again, and good evening, Kiko.
Good evening. Brilliant to have another show. It's a little bit rainy outside. It's been a bit of a miserable week as far as weather's concerned, but I'm glad to report that the weather forecast for the Aragon Grand Prix that we will be previewing on the show tonight is dry. Unlike Alton Park, which we'll be reviewing in the show as well, that was absolutely soaking wet. Ducks floating about pit lane all over the place, especially if you're from Nottinghamshire. We've
not actually seen you. We've not actually heard from you since you went to Misano. Have we? I don't think so. Did we do a show since then? Can't remember.
I don't think so. The Superbike Show plan was backdated to the 30th of August, so I very much doubt that. We do have some nice tan lines though being sorted up this side. Being spotted here, as you can see.
Didn't notice. I wasn't going to point it out. But...
No. Of course you wasn't. You're such a bad liar. You can see over in the nose as well. But no, all in all, great to be back. Lots to talk about. We got an Alvaro Bautista discussion going on because we promised it about 3 weeks ago. Never got round to it for whatever reason.
Well, there's been a lot to talk about.
Alvaro Bautista off to World Superbikes, of course. Arriba.it, Ducati taking him on. Will he go well at that team, either in World Superbikes or not? Let us know your thoughts. Get involved. Join the conversation. All that old engagement and promotion there. But yep, great show coming up. 2 hours of bikes to get our heads around.
Yeah, we are the Superbike Show. This is Motorsport Radio, and we're not just talking about superbikes, for example, as Kiko mentioned. We do talk about MotoGP, and why not? Because lots of people like MotoGP as well. So so if you're brand new to Motorsport Radio, if you're brand new to Superbike Show, and you're wondering why we're talking about MotoGP, just chill out. We do it all the time. It's just a name. That's all it is, really. We talk about bikes mostly, including mini bikes as well, which we'll get on to talking about a bit later on. The official road to MotoGP and official partner series to BSB, Cool Fab Racing, back in action in a couple of weeks' time at the final round at Tattershall in Lincolnshire. It's free to get entry to the event if you were in the area. I think it's the 6th and 7th of October.
5th, 6th and 7th, if you want to join us for practices on Friday.
Yeah, we'll be streaming the event all live, and I suppose ambassadors from Cool Fab, Mr. Josh Watley, I suppose, the unofficial title ambassador, I suppose. He's still racing in it, as is Brad Ray as well, which we'll get to later. Highlights of that from TDI Media coming up in a bit, including where Kiko cursed Mr. Brad Ray.
I didn't mean to, sorry.
And Ryan Vickers, also no stranger to Cool Fab as well. He's been in quite a few races as well. Has Tom Ward?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Roger would know. Roger Keys, or Mr. Cool Fab. Exactly. All right, so the latest news then. What have we got? Let's start off in MotoGP, Kiko. What's going on? What's the biggest news?
In no particular order. There is no massive news. It's little bits of news, but lots of it. So we'll start off. MotoGP is on Eurosport in the Netherlands and the Flanders district of Belgium. It's not come back to to Your Sport in the UK. I was reading the comments on the MotoGP link that they put out on the website. It's just people saying, get it back on Your Sport in the UK. I have to pay for BT Sport.
Get it back on BBC.
Exactly. People forget that they have to pay it as well at Your Sport. You just put it into a Sky package. So stop moaning. It's on BT. Deal with it. But in Netherlands and the Flanders district of Belgium, that is... that's where it's going to be. On Your Sport, Misano was confirmed as being on the calendar until 2021. The German Grand Prix was already confirmed, but we didn't know the venue. We now do, and that is at the Sachsenring. About Misano, I was there. 2,000 meals were saved after all the surplus of food cooked in the hospitality units and whatnot. 2,000 meals.
Did you save them?
I did not save them. There is no way I would contribute to something as silly as that. I guess 2,000 meals saved. That all goes to a great local cause based in Rimini. It helps 800 people through tough times. So KISS, I think it's called, KISS Misano. All good news. Brilliant news, actually. No joking there as well. We are very, very happy to... It's great to see MotoGP doing its bit. It really has become a world leader in things like this, I must say. Back to rider lineups. Jordi Torres gets to run out on the Avinza Ducati in Aragon. About time. Jordi Torres should have been really in MotoGP a few years ago. He decided to leave the paddock at the end of 2014, go World Superbike racing, and since then he's been completely lost.
Okay.
Canal Plus to be the French TV supply. We broke the news about that on Motorsport Radio. So if you're living in France, which of course people mainly on this stream probably won't, but if you are, well, you've got Canal Plus. It's going to show all the Moto3, Moto2 and MotoGP free practices and qualifying and races, and it's going to have extensive highlights package. Mika Kallio is being retained as the KTM test rider, despite him basically having no knees that are active at the moment. So Mika Kallio continue his recovery. Xavi Cardaluci, the Andorran rider, is replacing Mr. Romano Fenati. There's some breaking news there. Prize to some, but not to me. I think Billiger will go a lot better on the Moto2 bike myself. He's a tall lad. At the moment, it's like a giraffe riding a greyhound on that Moto3 bike. Talking about Moto3 with the VR46, Celestino Vietti Ramus is in at the VR46 Moto3 team, replacing Billiger. He comes up from the CEV Junior World Championship. I think we got the pronunciation right there. Ayuma Sasaki is going to miss Aragon through injury. And Makar Yurchenko, Kazakhstani rider, he's going to be participating at the Sepang ground as a wild card on a Honda, and he's also going to be the team's second rider as teammates Tony Arbolino for 2019. So all the 2019 jigsaw just fallen into place in the lower classes. A couple of bits of Moto E news. First
Moto
time
what?
We have, yes, Moto Electric, I think that stands for. We have teams confirmed as participating. They've been released. Riders are due to be announced on those bikes this weekend. Jesco Raffine is the first one to be announced in that new class. But Moto E, you've got, I think, LCR have got 2 bikes, Pramac have got 2 bikes, KTM, Tech 3 have got 2 bikes. So there's a few teams. The 6 Squadra Course 58 team have also got a bike there as well. There's a whole extensive list. We'll put it on the Motorsport.radio website, and you can have a look at that. So all of that is MotoGP based only, and we've got not much more news to come. I think we've muted him.
No, definitely not.
No,
I was just trying to catch out people who's actually on the stream who's like, oh, no sound, guys. I forgot to turn my phone up. That's what people like, getting pissed off.
I love it when he does that. I've got him.
Fantastic. Yes. A big hello to Leslie Sands and Paul Vickers tuned in at the moment. Hello, guys. And to Niall Robert Barrett. Sorry, probably shouldn't read out these names. But yes, if you're not able to hear at the moment, you probably should, because that's how you're able to basically fix the problem, is by doing just what I just said then. So yes, MotoGP news, good or bad, let us know what you think about all that, especially Jordi Torres as well. Do you, if you're of the same opinion as I am, maybe, in that he probably should have had his chance in MotoGP a long time ago, or some time ago anyway. It's past his due date to show what he can do in the GP paddock, then let us know. Tonight we are on Twitter. It's at msportradio. And where else are we streaming at the moment? Oh, yeah, Facebook's. You can leave your comment in the comments box below. You can send us a good old-fashioned email. It's hello@motorsport.radio. What.com? No. Motorsport.radio. That's it. Just a hello, and leave your thoughts. If you know Kiko directly, you can text him a lot of abuse, and he'll read out the very best ones, I'm sure. So, and also, if you have any news, if you are a rider somewhere, maybe, I don't know, let's just have a guess in Stock 1000, and you're thinking, maybe this is, these guys need to know some news. I've just quit my team or whatever. I'm just putting it out there. It's not likely to happen, let's face it. But that's the sort of breaking news that we really like to get involved in as well. We broke some big news as well this weekend, or this week on Monday as well, involving our parent company, Motorsport Media, which we'll get onto a bit later. But also, carrying on with news, Kiko, what else? Actually, about the BSB news.
Yes, before we get on to that, though, I just want to bring... There's a couple of things that aren't quite on there. My fault, because they only just broke before the show started.
Oh.
The Northern Ireland round of World Superbikes has been cancelled for next year. The circuit isn't built.
I didn't know it was happening.
That is a very unusual thing. Yeah, we broke the news about that earlier in the year. We got... We got told that the Lake Torrent circuit, Coal Island, it's going to be at...
we were told it was a possibility.
No, construction has started.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
It was an official release, came out from World Superbikes that the circuit will happen, and they will go down in 2019. And again, we have another Circuit of Wales saga, it looks like to me. So not very good there at all. And just to top off the bad news of the day for World Superbikes, Brno is allegedly pulled out too. So the Czech Grand Prix is checked out.
Will we miss it?
Czech round. World Superbikes will, I think. It's not quite an iconic circuit, I don't think, but it's a good circuit for World Superbikes.
It's established.
Established more in Grand Prix, but it's around really in Central Europe that was needed. They don't really go anywhere else. In Central Europe, they lost the German round at Lausitzring, which I think is just outside Dresden. Okay. Dortmund, I can't remember where, but again, it's that kind of Central European field. They don't go to Austria, don't go to Hungary, don't go to the Czech Republic if their news is true. It's a bit dead over there. They're going to have to find something to do, I think.
Interesting. If you have any comments on that, let us know in the comments box below, where you can enjoy our lovely audio stream in beautiful stereo sound here on Motorsport Radio. And if you are, like I said, brand new to Motorsport Radio, I just want to keep basically welcoming brand new people to the platform, because we have brand new people tuned in all the time, and that's mostly because we promote it so well all over the world as well. So
yes, international radio station, internationally recognised radio station, more to the point.
Exactly. So we have lots of people, especially in Indonesia as well, in India, tuned in, who I don't even know if they know what we're talking about, but something bikes anyway. So we have quite a few people, as well as us back here at home enjoying the lovely stormy conditions this evening. So comment regarding whether Tom Sykes should go or stay in World Superbikes. Chris Howells has been on, by the way. He said, why not just put Johnny Ray in MotoGP? We are definitely on then, are we? Just checking, yeah.
The audio stream works.
Official proof there. That's just... Are we on? Yeah, just checked it. Chris Howells, sorry, Chris, says, Kiko, why not just put Johnny Ray in MotoGP? If he's that good, surely he'll be fine.
Well, I can't put into words how much I'd like to see Johnny Ray in MotoGP, but he is not going to go when the rider he's being offered isn't what he deserves. You know, Johnny Ray probably deserves a factory ride of some description at 18. What team, we don't know. Suzuki was a rumour earlier this year, back in Le Mans, I think, in May. Johnny Ray will want to go to an established team. He is not going to want to sit around, no disrespect to Vincia, riding at the back of the grid when we know he's a world-class rider that is better than Cal Crutchlow probably on his day. So, and why would he take a pay cut when he's probably earning loads of money in World Superbikes as well? He's got a family to think of, and he, you know, I don't see where he can go.
It appears
not in the next 2 years either, because they're all the factory seats are taken, and he's just signed for 2 more years at Kawasaki till the end of 2020.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he's happy where he is now, and he's certainly doing good where he is now, then why bother changing anything at the moment? I don't think he's got anything to prove, to be honest, being the great British world champion that he is, old Johnny Ray. But what do you think? Do you disagree? You're allowed to disagree with Kiko. In fact, I encourage it. Get in touch with us. Let us know. And let us know why you disagree. If you have a better theory, because they're only our opinions, and you're allowed to air your opinions. We're not just interested in people agreeing with us all the time. It's better if someone jumps on and lets us know why we're wrong. Gives us a different perspective on things. Talking about different perspectives, we're going to have not a different rider, but a returning BSB rider, and a second rider in BSB at Assen for OMG Racing Suzuki.
Oh, unbelievable. Josh Elliott has stepped up to the Superbike. He was on the Tyco BMW last year, pulled off that amazing save. We don't know what one he's going to do this year. But yes, Josh Elliott, teammate to Gino Ria on the OMG Racing Suzuki, the all-new, all-conquering OMG Racing team there. Brilliant National Superstock Playoffs and campaign so far. Gino Ria has turned a corner with the bike, a couple of top tens in the latest couple of rounds. Expect both of them guys to be up in the sharp end this weekend. We know that Gino Ria has been to us so many times before, and it's a circuit he likes, so expect a little surprise when that comes around next week. But Josh Elliott will be the team's second rider, of course, the team looking to expand to 2 bikes.
Exactly, yes. No word on, I don't think he'll be on, I think it's just a one-off, is the plan at the moment. So just while he can do, why not have a run out in BSB at Assen, and perhaps, I don't know what's going on with rider news for 2019, but if it is the same pairing, maybe they want to field 2 bikes in BSB in 2019 as well. And we'll get on to other rumours about BSB and who might be staying, who might be going, which teams and coming and going, or maybe even Tom Sykes. Could he be knocking around BSB next year?
Where's Scott Redding?
Well, he's not signed yet. He's the latest rumour yet.
Can confirm there's a rumour.
Well, there's a rumour about everything, apparently. There's 20 riders for every bike next season, or is what I heard anyway. So, talking about BSB, Alton at the weekend, a good couple of races on the Sunday afternoon. It felt, if you were at Alton, then you might have known, if you were at both Alton weekends this year, you might have noticed that the first Alton weekend was very much packed. I think there was like 2 less classes there, no sidecars and no
try options, which has been signed up for another year. We should just add that on. There's an extension.
Yes, exactly.
2019.
And that's, I think, generally a positive thing, I would say. It provides a good amount of action.
An affordable way to go racing as well.
Yes, and still, quite a lot of good names in there as well. Some surprising names as well. And it's a great way for teams like the True Heroes racing team as well to showcase what they can do. Not necessarily for the pure glory of winning races, but literally just to raise funds, have fun, and provide a great spectacle in the paddock. And they're great guys and girls as well. So if you do see them out and about, maybe at Brands or at Assen, well, probably Brands, go and say hello to them. Really, really friendly guys. Anyway, so Alton Park happened, 2 races, and, Jake Dixon. Did we expect that?
Yes, actually, I would have said so. Jake Dixon's in fine form. Maybe didn't expect a convincing aspect to it, but Jake Dixon, double winner, ahead of Tommy Bridewell. Now, we didn't expect that. And Leon Haslam in both races, both those guys on the podium. Fantastic stuff.
Do you think maybe Bridewell had the biggest grin on his face, given what's happened this year?
Probably, actually, because he's proven a point, hasn't he, more than anything. But Tommy Bridewell, standout rider of the weekend, probably my rider of the weekend. Fantastic stuff. And I love the Moto Rapido Ducati Sap as well. It's just such a friendly team. Loads of good people in there. Lots of really talented people in there. Lots of down-to-earth people in there. So all in all, great result there for Bridewell and Moto Rapido. Josh Brooks, Bradley Ray, Glenn Irwin and Peter Hickman all had terrible weekends. Question is now, is it a two-horse race in the championship? We will see soon enough. Danny Buchan missed out on the showdown, and he missed out of the Alton Park round as well. Massive crash in qualifying. Qualifying 3 went straight on at Island Bend, which is fast, about 157 miles an hour. He went down that massive puff of smoke into the air fence, missed the races due to concussion, but he will be back hopefully at Assen, where he debuted for FS3 last year. I cannot believe it's been a year since Danny Buchan last stepped on first step back on a superbike from Stock 1000. Michael Laverty riding like his old self. Brilliant stuff, really, from Michael Laverty. He had a bit of an off on Sunday, though, I must say.
Off.
In race 2, yes. Pretty spectacular, but he was up and okay. Thought we was going to have a safety car on board, but no. Michael Laverty was okay. Taron McKenzie has really come of age. He's really starting to grow in stature, race by race, round by round. Expect him to be a winner before this season is out. And, of course, he was at Assen last year on a Moto 2 bike, so he hasn't missed out totally on the big bike experience there. He was at Assen the year before as well on a super sport bike. So just remember that Taron McKenzie may well be someone to watch. We've said Tommy Bridewell was the standout rider of the weekend. Gino Ria was the only Suzuki rider to score points in both races. Tom Neave crashed big time in race 2. Bradley Ray and Richard Cooper crashed in race 2, so therefore the only Suzuki that was able to score points in both races was Gino Ria. Andrew Irwin had a fantastic ride, a couple of massive moments in race 1, but somehow kept it all together.
Squeaky bum time.
Boy, I tell you, he was clenched at a couple of those corners on the exit as well. There might have been something else on the exit. Fraser Rogers in the points in both races for Geely and Kawasaki. Can't tell you how happy I am for them and for Fraser. And Joe Francis, debut in a Superbike class, P16 in race 1, didn't go out in race 2 due to an issue, but again, good stuff from Joe Francis. So all round, quite a positive weekend from Alton Park. Lots of talking points, lots of discussion. But Jake Dixon slashing the lead of Leon Haslam's, now down to 31 points, I think it is. That is by far doable, considering Leon Haslam had a 31-point lead going into Brands Hatch last year and chucked it all away.
Yeah, if you don't know about the full story of qualifying in BSB at Alton, well, Leon Haslam had a bit of a nightmare issue in quali. I forget exactly what the issue was.
The bike dropped down to 3 cylinders, I heard. Yeah,
some cylinder issue. I don't know, I'm not technical, whatever. But yeah,
you specialise in Vauxhall Vivaro gearboxes, don't you?
Does it go or does it not? That's all I'm interested in. So yeah, basically,
technical analysis brought to you by. No, it's not Neil Spalding. It's Lester Forbes.
But yeah, Leon Haslam getting off to a bit of a nightmare start to the showdown, and a lot of people thinking just after quali, before the first race, that this was going to be sort of touch and go, whether he could actually pull something, pull a good result out of the bag. But in race number 1, wow, he did that tremendously. He
the
flew
third
that field.
proper champions ride, really. Proper champions ride. That Neil Hodgson did back of the field to the lead in 2000 at Alton Park, I recall. That was at round 7, came from the back of the grid. He had a problem on the warm-up lap, had to start from the back of the grid, and by lap 7 he was leading. So Neil Hodgson there. Alton Park has a history.
Yeah, it certainly separates the potential champions from everyone else who started at the back of the grid. But yeah, no, it's
one foot forward
to come from the back in any race. I don't care what, who else is racing at Alton Park, to come from the back to not only just be in the points, but being with a kind of a shout of almost winning the race, but it wasn't to be in the end. So can Jake Dixon then, could he realistically, are we talking about him winning the title based on this weekend, or is it really just a 2-horse race now?
Jake, I think it's definitely a 2-horse race. I mean, talking to Bradley Ray after race 2, he said to me, listen, we got to forget about the championship. Yeah, we're in with a mathematical chance, but that's about it. I don't think anyone else can really take it to the leading 2 now. It looks like it's going to go to Kawasaki either way. Whether it's Leon Haslam or Jake Dixon, I don't know. I really do think Jake Dixon could do something. He didn't have a great Aston last year, only 8th and 7th. Leon Haslam was 1st and 3rd. But if you look at how Jake's come along this season at some races, you'd be an idiot to write him off. So, as far as that's concerned, you've got to think that Jake Dixon's in with a shout. He can still win the title. We saw last year that Leon Haslam couldn't get the job done.
Some people throwing question marks over whether Haslam can actually, whether he's let's face it, I mean, people wondering whether he's a choker. No easy way to say it, but I suppose the next few weeks will indeed prove that theory correct.
He hasn't choked so far this year.
What do you think? Let us know. Get in touch if you think he can stay on course. Does he only have to keep going, really, and carry on his momentum? Because he makes it look so easy, doesn't he? Certainly, but
effortless,
almost effortless. Which, of course, if it was, then certainly everybody would be doing it. But they're not.
Well, I'd be doing it.
But it's not effortless. So there you go. Let us know. Can he do it? Will he have another nightmare, let's say? And from a fan's point of view, from a TV point of view, we'd love it to all go down to the last race at the last round of the season. But we know how much of a heart attack it gives all those guys when it does that. I'm sure they all want it sewn up, especially Leon, before the last race, before maybe even the last round. The last it's triple header, isn't it, at Brands? So it is. Yeah, so that's
technically Leon Haslam can win the title at Assen. A double DNF for Jake Dixon and everyone else has a head wobble, and Haslam does a double. He only has to leave there with more than 75 points advantage, and he's got the job done. Doesn't even have to show his face at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, and then
that'll take a few bums off seats for the finale, and Brands Hatch will really love it.
We don't want that to happen, though, do we? Because we want a huge packed capacity crowd at Brands Hatch, because that's literally what I mean. It makes BSB come alive when you've got the atmosphere in the crowd, and there's so many people watching this on TV, and there's millions of people, and everyone's looking down. And of course, last year, if you remember that hugely emotional moment when an injured Leon Haslam got sort of winched onto the grid to congratulate Shane Byrne at the end after winning another championship, and that I think everyone shed a tear at that moment.
Yes.
At that
Very
iconic
much.
moment in BSB history. Anyway, let us know your thoughts. It's at M Sport Radio on the Twitters, Motorsport Radio on Facebook. Leave us comments on the comments box below wherever you're tuned into this. It is the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. My name's Lester, and Kiko Giles is here with us. And we move on to talk about other things as well. It's not all about MotoGP and BSB. It's really not, because it's Supersport as well. We kept a close eye on that, and wow, what an amazing couple of races. And we thought maybe Silverstone was a bit of a one-off. Maybe the unique national circuit layout produced some sort of side-by-side, corner-to-corner action. Almost the same repeat action at Alton Park as well. Wow.
Ben Curry and Alistair Seeley sharing the spoils. Alistair Seeley really making a nuisance of himself with Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy not happy at all with the way Alistair Seeley was riding. They don't really get on anyway, but I can tell you they were totally off everyone's Christmas cards, each other's Christmas cards list, after them pretty harsh moves that Alistair Seeley was putting on Jack Kennedy. So those two, of course, Seeley can't really win the title. It is all you can't win the title. It's between Jack Kennedy and Ben Curry. Jack Kennedy leads the championship by 30 points now. Ben Curry did cut the gap down a little bit at Alton Park. Kyle Ryde was on the household Yamaha, but he struggled quite a bit. We all expected him to go a little bit better than that. Alistair Seeley, we just said, makes an impression on the EHA Yamaha. He had a massive influence at Silverstone, and he's just had a bigger one at Alton Park. James Spoley had a good weekend all round. Big shout out to his teammate, by the way, Bjorn Esmond. A huge accident.
I'll try and find the picture for you.
The bruises were just horrendous on a certain part of the South African's body.
He posted a picture of his bum with a massive big bruise.
He did. It was looked sore. Brad Jones consistent with 2 fifth places. Brad Jones a favourite here at Motorsport Radio, but Jack Kennedy, a 30-point lead for him. Going into Assen, he can win the title at Assen, just like Leon Haslam can. And I'm not sure. He had a struggle at Assen last year. Ben Curry was knocked off at Assen last year. There is no clear favourite going into that Dutch round, but I cannot wait to see how that all plans out.
Is Seeley, how to say this politely, is he interfering?
Yes, of course he is. Has he got a right to do so? Yes, he has.
So how can he be interfering if he's got a right?
He's interfering in the championship. Of course.
Yeah, but if he's got a right to do so, because he's there on the grid.
If you look at it from a Ben Curry perspective, it's probably good. But from a Jack Kennedy perspective, absolutely not.
But I'm asking you, though.
No, yeah, of course he's interfering.
Why?
He's not interfering bad. He is influencing the outcome of a championship, which has, until now, been a two-horse race. But now Seeley's come good on an EHA Yamaha that she has inherited at Silverstone. You've got to think that, of course, he's influencing it. It's the same way that Marc Marquez influenced the Jorge Lorenzo Valentino Rossi Championship and Andrea Iannone the same year in 2015. Other riders obviously interfere. Interferes the wrong word. He is influence. Influencing would probably be a better word, because interfering makes it sound like he's doing it on purpose.
Like he's in the way.
That's how Jack Kennedy would see it.
Well, he's not here to say that, but...
Well, no, but you would think that's how he'd see it.
Personally, I would say that he, like you mentioned, he's got every right to be there, and it's up to the other guys to manoeuvre their way around him.
Yeah. He's in the same class. He's not in another class and interfering like he was last year. He's in the same class, fighting for the exact same amount of points.
I mean, ultimately, you've got to beat whoever's on the track. It doesn't matter what scenario the championship standings are at that particular point. You can only beat whoever's in front of you. For example, someone from the midfield might be at the front of the field next time out, and you could say, oh, they shouldn't be there, they're interfering, when really they're there on merit because they're there racing.
Last year we had Emily Lahti, who the Finnish rider on the Suzuki. Massive interference at the front, but he was in the same race, in the same class. He's got every right to be there, and it's a great dynamic as well.
I mean, wouldn't you say, perhaps, to make a wider point, every wildcard rider is interfering?
Of course they are. Of course they are. Which is, and that's what it's all about. So a race is a race. Scenario off track in championship standings should not change just because, or should not be considered by any other rider who's unusually at the front. That's not how racing works. So good on Alistair Seeley.
Yeah, and if you've got any comments on that, particularly want to hear tonight from Mr. Ben Curry or Jack Kennedy, if you tuned in, let us know. I don't think there will be, though.
Well, Ben might be.
Prolific
listener, viewer.
He's probably training, isn't he? So he's probably working
with Sam Yassin.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Are people who aren't challenging for the championship but racing on merit up at the front interfering, or let's say in the championship way? Or do they have every right to be there? And if he was genuinely in the way, then that's in and of itself suggests that the others are there naturally faster than him and should breeze past him. But that obviously isn't the case. But let us know either way your thoughts on it. Right, Stock 1000, and a lot of people tuned in to Motorsport Radio and the Superbike show sometimes to find out what happens in the National Superstock 1000 Championship, because there's so much that goes on every time we come on air. We seem to have a huge, big shopping list of rider changes and teams pulling out, teams coming in, rider swaps everywhere, and do we have any news at all? It seems like a relatively quiet couple of weeks in Stock 1000.
We know Kevin Manfredi was at Morello Kawasaki at Silverstone. Jordan Gilbert went to Draper Racing BMW for this round. Alton Park was just gone.
And he says he's staying for the rest of the season, I think.
Well, one round, yes. I'm trying to think what else is there. Can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment. Just the two changes. Just the two changes.
Just the two changes this hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll wait for any information coming through on our sources. But just looking, I've just got my spreadsheet up here. Keith Farmer is leading this championship by 10.5 points. Ooh. So that means a third place for him at Brands Hatch, the sole stock 1000 race at Brands Hatch, and he is champion. Looking at the other Brands Hatch rounds, he scored 5 points more than nearest championship rival Billy McConnell in the last round, the last Brands Hatch GP round. But back in April at Brands Hatch Indy, Billy McConnell scored 21 points more than Keith Farmer. So it is neck and neck, really, coming into this round. Billy McConnell wins. Keith Farmer must be third. He cannot be lower than third. Otherwise, Billy McConnell will snatch this championship straight from him. But, of course, both of them crashed out big time in the Brands Hatch GP round earlier in the year. It is a two-horse race. Joe Collier now can no longer win it. He's a 29 points gap back. He can still take second. He's 18.5 points away. Alex Olsen has come good, very, very good late on this year. Josh Elliott likewise. Josh Elliott can get up to 4th place now if he's to go onto the National Superstock 1000 bike, depending on how he does at Aston on the Superbike. But Keith Farmer versus Billy McConnell for the Superstock 1000s. Other news in Stock Thousands, Josh Elliott at Alton Park crashed out of the lead by a massive gap.
Oh, that was a shame.
Down at Lodge, and we experienced that shame at OMG Racing. Literally, I don't know about OMG, more like WTF. Tom Ward in the top 10 again. Fantastic ride. Considering he got punted back to, I think it was 21st in the Stock 1000 race. And Ben Godfrey, we met up with him at Team IMR briefly on Saturday. Saw his dad, who's actually at the moment in Barcelona. So hello Steve, in Barcelona.
Had him on Facebook, he did.
Hello. So I was popular. Ben Godfrey has proved his worth at IMR BMW's third row qualifying and just outside the top 10 in race 1. Fantastic stuff. That team, we've said it all year, have been putting out some top bikes.
And it should be interesting to see just how well they go later. For the remaining races.
For visual radio stream viewers who may have not, for listeners, sorry, not on the visual radio stream, Lester's just whipped out his gold mug. No, it's not him. It is an actual cup.
This old thing.
Oh, that one.
The Motorsport Awards mug. But
yes. Are the Motorsport Awards?
Since you mentioned it, the nominations phase for the Motorsport Awards opens on the 1st of October, so just around the corner on Monday, the 1st of October. It's your chance to nominate somebody who you think should be in contention for a motorsport award. Tons of different types of categories. Everything from the obvious ones, the best rider, the best team, the best championship, but also industry awards as well, like best insurance company. So are you being fleeced by someone at the moment? Obviously, they probably wouldn't win a motorsport award, but have you ever experienced a fantastic insurance company? We know there are some really dodgy ones. We're not going to name them, but it's quite rare to actually find a brilliant insurance company, someone who will perhaps, I don't know, insure you if you fly off your bike over at Macau, as an example. As an example.
What's one about Macau? John McGuinness at Paul Bird Motorsport Ducati for Macau.
What? What?
John McGuinness is at Paul Bird Motorsport Ducati at Macau, riding at Macau. That is going to be a thrilling spectacle. I just thought I'd launch myself in there whilst you mentioned Macau. Don't know what you want to.
Well, that was news to me anyway.
News.
That will be, a thrilling spectacle. Anyway, he's not on an e-bike, is he? Because I know he's starting to consider that more and more. At them e-bike things.
TT0, it's called. I think.
Well, let's wait and see. Anyway.
Don't pay much attention to electricity, really.
Right, so moving on. And, just before we do that, actually, before we get on to having a chat with Tom Ward, just want to ask, really, who you think, with it being the sharp end of the championship season now, who's actually going to win the title?
What, Stock 1000?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Just one name will do. I don't need the entire grid.
No, because there's only 2 that can do it. But I think Keith Farmer will. but I wouldn't begrudge Billy McConnell.
Oh, here we go.
No, because Keith Farmer,
You think he
I
will?
think he's a very unlucky rider not to be in British Superbikes, as is Billy McConnell, some would say, but Keith Farmer should have probably gone up last year. But again, Tyco BMW sorted him out a ride at Stock Thousands this year, and he has been good. He's been consistent. Billy McConnell has been a race winner quite a few times. I'm going to say Keith Farmer. He's going to win it. I think he's going to stay in the championship lead. I hope he doesn't crash out. I really hope he doesn't do what he done at the last Brands Hatch round, and that's crash. Because I think if he does, Billy McConnell will not make that mistake.
Yeah, Bryn Jones also agreeing. He says for Stock 1000, Billy Whiz, as he calls him. I know of another Billy Whiz, so I'm guessing it's
Yes. Billy McConnell.
Right. Okay. Yes. I was reading something else as well. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I don't have any opinions, to be honest. Just like
choose one.
No, I'm not going to choose one. No, because
yes, you are. You're going to make yourself look a mug on social media, mate. Go on.
I'm not. I'm definitely not.
Who are you going to say?
For our visual radio viewers and listeners, we do have evidence of Kiko actually to pinpoint the moment where he actually cursed Brad Ray and did a commentator's curse, and that will be coming up on the show later. But honestly, I'll probably honestly, I don't have any. You know, if I say one, then I don't want the other guy to be like, oh, well,
I said Keith Farmer. You basically said Billy McConnell.
Well, I'll say Billy McConnell then, just so. But that's, like you say, nothing taking away anything from Keith, who's a nice guy.
Kill him, have him, lynch him.
Quiet. So anyway, from Stock 1000, we managed to catch up with Tom Ward at the weekend, who you might also know as Mr. Brad Ray's bestie as well, who was caught in a very unfortunate memeable moment at the weekend on Eurosport coverage, wasn't he?
Yes, it was. I've heard of eating rabbit, but I wasn't sure about eating hare, Bradley.
We don't have the footage to play for our visual radio viewers.
It was on Tom Ward's Instagram story, I think.
Oh, was it? Okay. So
one of them, it was Tom or Brad.
Head over there anyway to check that out. But yeah, nice guy anyway, and we caught up with him at Alton Park, and well, this is what he had to say.
Tom Ward, National Superstock 1000 rookie in 2018. Fair to say you've had a decent season since Snetterton, 2 top 10s this year, including one here at Alton Park. Assess it from your angle. How's your year been to you?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, to be honest, it's been a bit of a learning year, as it was always going to be. You know, I've never been on 1,000 before, so it's going to be difficult, like adapting your riding style, that kind of thing. You don't think at first you've really got to change a lot, but once you get on the bike and you're out on track with other riders, it's such a physical thing to change your riding style. Yeah, it was always going to be a slow start. We got built up and got like a really good base setting, and then from Snetterton I started getting good results. It was just again just learning things as we went. Brands had a really good result, really pleased with that. And then went to Cadwell, had another really good result, and then this weekend hasn't been great, and Silverstone hasn't been great, but we can't really put our finger on what it was. It's just one of them things, unfortunately. If you don't get on with a track or your bike doesn't feel quite right, if you don't gel with it, you don't want to go pushing on. So yeah, overall it's been really good so far. Yeah.
How's it been in the Household Racing team? There's been a couple of changes on the other side of the garage, but you've dealt with them quite well. You've stayed focused. How has it been in the team? Because Colin Wright's also come in this year as well. Yeah,
to be honest, it was a bit of it's always weird because I'm obviously good friends with Tommy, so we got introduced through the team, so it's quite nice to have like an involvement in that. Being involved in a rider as good as Tommy is and having as much experience is kind of really good to help me along at the beginning. And it was obviously difficult when he went away from the team and whatever happened, but it's one of them things, and he just as everyone else did. I've obviously raced with Chrissy for years and years. We were really good friends, so that worked really well. And again with Tom as well, it's been good just purely because we get on so well, and it's it's a racing family. Everyone gets on, and I don't really have any rivals in this paddock or anything. It's a dangerous sport as it is, and you go out there and just enjoy riding a bike, really. So.
Looking towards the end of the season, where would you like to be? You go back to Brands GP, a circuit you was as high as 6th at one point in the summer round. Where would you like to finish this season? What position are you looking to achieve? Another top 10 obviously is where you're looking. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I've always struggled in the wet, and this weekend, even though the results didn't look at first and people probably thought I was running around at the back again, I made big improvements and actually kind of got my confidence back as well. So if it's wet or dry at Brands, I think we've got a really good setting now for both. And obviously the aim is always to win, but the boys who we're racing against, they're all champions. They've been in this class and other classes and stuff like that. So I would love to get on the podium. That would be great. But realistically, if I can get a top 6, top 5, I'll be really happy with that, to be honest.
You're good friends with Bradley Ray. How has his season been from your perspective? And be kind.
Yeah, I think it's Brad. It's Brad. You can't really say a lot more, to be honest. But he's a bloody good rider. He's just one of the most naturally talented people I've ever met, just in anything. I'm not saying that because he's my friend or whatever, but he's annoying, because usually I like to class myself as all right at most things, but you sort of do anything with him and he just puts you to shame. So, but yeah, he's had a good season. I think, again, it's his second year on that bike, his second year on a Superbike. For what he's doing is incredible, really. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is, well, I almost can be sure he'll be in the top 6.
Play safe. Yeah. Looking back finally now to 2019 for you, where do you see yourself moving to? It's a bit of a surprise move, you coming up to Stock 1000 with Halsall, because they weren't a Stock 1000 team. Are you looking to stay with them? Maybe move up to the Superbike? What's the options for next year?
To be honest, I was originally meant to ride the Supersport bike, the bike that Carl's on, but obviously with Suzuki being the manufacturer in the Superbike, it would have been a bit of a clash having a Yamaha, and then the Suzuki isn't quite as competitive in 600, so we kind of said we'll go to Stock 1000s. At first I wasn't quite sure about it, but I'm actually really pleased I've made the change, because getting on a bigger bike is definitely a better thing to do. But in all fairness, I haven't spoken to Colin or Martin about anything to do with next year yet, so I don't know what if they've got a plan for if they want me to be on the Stock 1000 or Superbike. I don't know. We're a bit in the dark with that at the minute, so maybe we'll have some conversations. If I get some good results at the end, then hopefully they'll be more inclined to keep me on. And so
finally, again, considering you're good friends with Bradley Ray, who's going to win the British Superbike Championship?
I don't know, really. It's a hard one. They're all so good. I would love Brad to win it, because I think he deserves it and he's a bloody good rider. But I mean, Dixon's so strong as well. You've got Brooks. I mean, all of them, you can say every single one of them is looking good, and it all depends on weather conditions and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all up in the air for me, but I would say Brad. It's got to be Brad.
Tom, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Motorsport Radio, the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Tom Ward chatting to Kiko at the weekend at Alton Park. Well done to you, Kiko. Shut up.
I've got a third one, haven't we?
Wait. But yeah, Tom Ward there, rating Brad as a bloody good rider. And, yes. Yeah, I suppose. Can't remember if... Go on.
That was done before race 2. Race 2, unfortunately, Brad found a barrier and parked his Suzuki in it very neatly indeed. So... Tom Ward joining the Bradley Ray Curse Club with me. He's only had one member on the way into the weekend, now has 2.
Was it anything like his last ride out, Brad's last ride out at Coolfab Racing at Wilton Mill, where you seem to curse quite a lot of riders?
I know. I mean, Brad having front end issues there as well, I suppose. It's not just blame me. I mean, it's just a bike.
Yeah, Brad taking his own road bike out for a spin in the, I think it was the Extreme 200s. I can't remember what class it was. What was it?
Pit Bike 140/Moto team event, but the clip we're going to show you is from the Extreme 200s. You are quite right.
Okay.
Harvey Claridge is out of it, so just as we say how well he's doing, commentators curse yet again here. We are not having a good day. Dan Marr, all emails to him. Thank you. I had enough of this abuse Rich Holmes-Williams leading Brad Ray, though, and that is your battle out on circuit.
So Brad Ray's second at the moment.
Sidelines, good job it's free, otherwise he'd have to buy a ticket for it, wouldn't he? It's first place, Rich Holmes-Williams. Down the straight, Brad Ray in second place. At the moment, those two are your leaders.
Also a fantastic battle going on at the moment between the number 15 of Chloe Jones in fifth.
And he's right behind the leader, Richard Holmes-Williams.
But then relatively dark leathers compared to the really bright fluorescent leathers, but quite dark bike of Tom Whedon, the number 177, through turns 3 and 4. Really
the sound of these bikes is beautiful.
Really push the bike from left to right again. Such a hard way to move the bikes around. They do make it through, and they're still side by side trying to give it an attack into turns 7 and 8. Just holding on. They don't need to attack too hard. They've got 6 laps left to go. They've completed 4, on to lap 5 at the moment. Also a great scrap going on between Brandon Payne, Brandon Powell and Will Howard. 7th, 8th and 9th. 8th for the yellow Pebble. Under attack from Will Howard though. Really been invigorated by some great pace in qualifying earlier on this morning.
Bradley Ray's alongside Rich Holmes-Williams. Bradley Ray to the front. So the kid from Lead then decides he wants to have a little go at the front. He was in early, out a bit wide. Rich Holmes-Williams knows he's got to fight straight back if he's to stay in touch with Brad, and doesn't do so. So Bradley Ray then at the front of a Cool Fab race meeting. Not the first time we've said it, and I'm sure it won't be the last either across this week. Bradley Ray loses the front and down he goes. I can't believe it. Bradley Ray, I'm meant to be his friend. I cannot believe I've just shot him out of this race. Oh my goodness me. Bradley Ray, Kevin, I know you tuned in. Please accept my apologies. I do not care if I take you off if you take me off your Christmas list. My goodness me. Richard Holmes-Williams will be giving me a handshake later on. Richard Holmes-Williams is back in the lead. Bradley Ray's front end was under him for a week. It was at turn 8, sorry. Unbelievable scenes. Bradley Ray, fastest lap of the race in this race, but certainly I cannot believe what I've just said, or seen for that matter. Bradley Ray's front
Unbelievable!
Well, I think you need to go and have a lie down for a minute, Kiko Charles, but nonetheless, a great... It does continue though, the thing to mention, he has continued into the race, so he is still in 4th place, he's still got the fastest lap.
Tom Whedon, by the way, yes, if you're tuned in visually, Tom Whedon also in this race, and yes, it's that Tom Whedon.
It over the line. It is now Richard Holmes-Williams in the lead, ahead of Josh Watley in second.
Brother to Finn Smart as well, I should add.
Who's going to take a whole host of points.
Who's a fantastic up-and-coming rider.
In the battle for the championship. But Bradway...
I could watch all this all weekend.
Closing in the gap, 52.0 that last lap, so
I did.
a little slower.
Yeah, so there we go. I'll try and find a nice point to rewind that little clip, which was filmed brilliantly, by the way, by TDI Media, Alan Taddy. Check out all of the races from that particular weekend racing last time out at Wilton Mill over on the TDI Media YouTube channel. All the races on the Saturday, I think. But yeah, Brad Ray on a pit bike there, not on his own personal road bike, but he did bring that as well, and he was beeping his horn, annoying everybody else on the
bit horny, I think, wasn't he?
Annoying everybody else with it. But yeah, so what was the quote exactly? Oh, Brad Ray at the front of this pack, and that's won't be the last time that you'll hear that. Oh, he's down. See, I can commentate as well. Yeah, so more Cool Fab racing action coming up in a couple of weeks' time at Tattershall in Lincolnshire.
Home of Cool Milk, the series partners.
Yes, and it will be streamed all live, all on radio coverage on the website motorsport.radio, on the Cool Fab Racing Facebook page, and on the Cool Fab Racing website, coolfabracing.com. Check it out. You can even come along if you're in the area. It's free to get in. We'll welcome you, and it does provide, as you have heard there, some fantastic racing action, and especially you might have seen recently the senior mini motos as well. Especially when it rains. Please let it rain for them. It does provide some brilliant racing action.
All 27 races, we should say, on Motorsport Radio. So, yes. No other place can find all 27, even with the filming. You can listen back to all the ones that they don't get on the Sunday with us.
Exactly. So, Cool Fab Racing, check him out. And if you are a young rider, or maybe you know somebody who might want to get involved, shaky bar. his
Yes.
son, maybe. Have a quick chat, maybe. Send a link over. Well, yeah, it'd be fantastic to see him riding in the paddock as well.
Absolutely.
And maybe even if he's fit enough, we can even get shaken. Maybe even we could have half the BSB grid. Sod that. Have all of the BSB grid. Maybe a pre-season. I don't know, spectacular. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, they are the official
a shaky
partners
down
as well.
Yes, exactly.
Hey.
So why not?
They do a burnout at the end.
Let's get them all to Donington. Maybe for Media Day as well. Wouldn't that be amazing? I'd love that.
The media partners can go, or the partner series. It'd be a lovely little BSB Cool Fab day out. That would be.
Let's make it happen, because I mean, half the riders are in BSB in the paddock anyway, and vice versa, as you've seen heard with Brad Ray. He likes to pop along, as does Ryan Vickers, who we will hear from a bit later on. By the way, talking about his championship success in Stock 600, and also this man as well. Well, I say man, he's only just turned 13 as well, and he's been in Cool Fab for a number of years as well, already just starting to make a bit of a name for himself. Those people who might have seen Silverstone, that round there where he entered in the, forgetting the class now, but I think it was the standard class of the championship, and yeah, he won straight away, first time out. He'd been racing, sort of dipping his toe a little bit in doing a bit of Cool Fab racing. He's been racing over in Spain as well, but here is Mr. Joshua Watley telling Kiko about his season to date, and maybe where he ends up in, let's say, 3 years. Does he want to be in GP? Let's find out.
I'm here at Alton Park with current British star, looking to be a future world star, Josh Watley. Josh, coming from Cool Fab, currently in the British Championship, looking to go on to big things in the world stage, done a bit of CV stuff. Just sum up your career so far. It's been full of highlights.
It's been great so far. Been really looking forward to the Red Bull Rookie selection in a couple of weeks. The British Talent Cup at the moment's really fun. We've had a couple bike problems in recent rounds, but it's all positives. We're still learning, and I'm just only turned 13, so I've got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. You're on the right side of the age concept, at least. How has Cool Fab prepared you for going on to big things to do with Britain and the world stage as well? How good has Cool Fab been as a proving ground?
It's been great. To start off, it's a great championship. It's not too competitive, it's not too bad at all. It's just a great place to start and gain your confidence. It's great.
If you was to look at Cool Fab now, obviously you've been doing a few rounds this year, is it easier now? You can go back to it and you know the circuits, you know the competition?
Yeah, it's a lot easier now. Like the first couple of years we did, it was a little different. We didn't know where we stood, but now it's a little bit like a family. We know everyone, and it's a bit fun. Yeah.
Where do you want to end up in the world? Like, of course, everyone wants to be in Grand Prix at some point, but what age do you want to be in that paddock? How are you going to get there? Are you going to go through the World Superbike paddock first? You're going to go Red Bull Rookies? What's your plan?
I'm planning to go through the Junior World Championship route, and hopefully I'll be in GP in the next 3 years, maybe. And planning to not go through the BSB route, mainly just go through the world route, pretty much. Red Bull, British Talent and European Talent Cup and Junior World Championship.
You've done a bit of work in the CEV Championship, you've rode in some championships out there. How competitive are they?
It's a completely different world over there. Here, I've only just gone on this track in the dry last session and I'm like 0.1 off third. If in Spain, if I'm 2 seconds off someone, I'm last. And if I went like 0.7 quicker, I'd be 11th. It's crazy. But here, if you're not that close and you're struggling a little bit, you're still inside the top 10. It's not really not really a big problem. But in Spain, it's a completely different story.
Does that competitiveness prepare you well, though, for the World Championship? Looking at how it is now and how close the competition is, especially Moto3, Moto2, when you do get there in the next few years, obviously you have already had that competition aspect, and some of those riders that you're probably riding with now will be there as well, so you'll know who you're riding against too.
Yeah, the championship I'm in at the moment, European Talent Cup's pretty much the MotoGP for my age, and us as riders, the people in that will probably be the riders I'll be riding against if I get to the World Championship.
Final question. Plans for 2019? Obviously, you've been doing loads of stuff this year. European Talent Cup, bit of Motor Star, lots of cool fab as well. We've seen you there. What are you looking to do in 2019? A little bit more, or are you going to look at doing something a bit more full time?
I'm hoping I can get into Red Bull Rookies and stay in British Talent Cup, but not sure what I'm going to be doing in the European Talent Cup. We've got a lot of offers, but it's too early to decide yet.
Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Only 13. Can you believe that? Unbelievable is what it actually is. I thought he was older, to be honest. I said to his mum, Ibby, at the weekend. I still remember when I first went into the Cool Fab paddock for the first time 2.5 years ago, start of 2016. God, that seems like a long time ago as well. But yeah, and Josh was always one of the young riders, more willing than most to come into the commentary box and to do a bit of commentary and to always ask for an interview. Media training at a very early age is so important, kids, really is. And hello to all the other Cool Fab riders who are tuned in right now to Motorsport Radio. Hello, good evening. So yeah, and Kiko, a great example there of the of just how the Cool Fab Racing fraternity and how good the Cool Fab Racing Championship is at producing future world champions. It will happen one day.
Already has happened with Danny Kent, of course, Moto3 world champion. You forgot about it, didn't you?
No.
No, of course not. Scott Redding as well. Less said about that, the better. Luke Mossey.
Scott's still influencing many as with his academy and stuff.
He's still in world level Grand Prix racing, just on a very poor machine at the moment. We do feel for Scott Redding, but there's lots of British talent, and none less than in British Superbike own paddock, really. He's had 9 race wins in the National Superstock 600 Championship this year. He has been a World Supersport wildcard for Simon Buckmaster's CIA Landlords Insurance Honda team. He has been to Cool Fab on a few occasions last year as well. He is coached by the great Alan Carter. He has already wrapped up the National Superstock 600 Championship and is on his way to many a great thing. Of course, Ryan Vickers. Now, we spoke to him at Alton Park, and this is what he had to say. Ryan Vickers, here you are. Take a look at this.
I'm at Motor Technics Yamaha Racing with National Superstock 600 champion Ryan Vickers. Ryan, from the start of the season, I think we've known it's been not a given, but you've been the favourite for the championship. It's wrapped up. You've got 2 rounds left here of the championship. How's that feel to be doing it so early, really?
That is a really good season. We've had a lot of wins. We've 2 rounds we haven't won. The one I crashed in and one I didn't race at. But yeah, to wrap it up early at Silverstone was really good, and there was quite a bit of competition at Silverstone with Rory Skinner there, and it was a really good race. And now we're just now we've got no pressure. We can push on and go for these fast times like I've just done in qualifying.
If you was to look back at your 2018 campaign, especially in National Superstock 600, what has been the highlights for you? What if you was to pick 2 or 3 races to relive, what would they be?
It's a hard question, to be honest, because there's been so many good results. I don't know, Silverstone was a really good one. It's definitely got to be one of the highlights because it was a good race with Rory, and unfortunately he crashed, but it would have been an amazing race right to the end. But even the part of the race that he was there, it was really good, and also that made me crown champion, so that was definitely the highlight of the year. And also the first round of the season to get the win. There's a good battle there as well, so it's them 2 races are probably the best ones for me so far.
After your first National Superstock 600 win at Brands Hatch at the end of last season, did you consider yourself the favourite coming into this year, or was you always like kind of playing it down a little bit, trying not to be too out there and too confident at the fact that you are going to be up there or thereabouts?
Well, we kept it a bit quiet between us and the team, but we knew within ourselves that we'd be one of the front runners. Winning the last round and showing good potential last year at the end part, the last 3 rounds. And the top 8 moving on, we knew that we was going to be running at the front this year, so we come into the first round with our expectations on the podium, really, and we've kept it that way since, really.
You're one of a number of British Superbike paddock riders now under SYPC training and all that. How important has that been for you this year? Because a lot of riders we've seen make the move over, and a lot of times, fitness is a bit more underrated. But has it helped you this year if you look back compared to last year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the training over the winter is so hard. It was just crazy, and even now during training, it's just so well organised, and we do the right stuff. It's been so beneficial, and also Full Throttle Motorsport Gen with the massages, stuff like that. It's all a big thing to make it better, make my performance on the track better. I don't suffer with anything, any arm pump, nothing. So it's just really handy to be able to do a full race distance and come off the track and feel like you can do another one. That's the thing. It's been so beneficial with all the training.
What's the next steps for you finally? National Superstock 600 champion, you finished in the top 10 in the championship, you can't stay in the championship. You will be looking towards Junior World Championship, I guess, in the near future, maybe even staying in the British paddock. What would you prefer to do? What do you think is going to happen? Have you had any offers yet?
I want to, within myself, like my ideal option would be to go to Moto 2, but it's just so hard to get into next year. So we are looking at options in lots of different places. We've got plenty of options for next year. We've got CV and in the British Championship, we've got a few offers here, so it's going to be a very hard decision to make over the next few weeks, but we're going to have to make a decision in the next couple of weeks or so it will be announced soon.
Ryan, congratulations on your championship victory and all the best for the remainder of the year.
Cheers.
Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Fantastic to have Ryan Vickers back on the Superbike show as he, I suppose, does a tour of celebration, really, and celebrating his Stock 600 championship, which is sewn up and wrapped up. And he did it really in such a brilliant way with a good few races to go. So Ryan Vickers, brilliant achievement, and we congratulate you and all the team and the family from Motorsport Radio and Motorsport Media as well. Great to have him back on. Where will he go next year? Well, a lot of people seem to be speculating. Maybe could he even maybe do BSB? Maybe
jump on the Superbike. Rumour has it Bertley Hardy and the RAF team, and they were talking. We walked past them, didn't we, Leicester Indy? They were talking in behind the garages, so maybe there's a deal being brokered there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, in journalism world, if you see one rider talking to a different team other than their own, that clearly means that they're going to be riding with them next year, and in most cases it really does, and especially because if you conduct your business behind closed doors, and if you're talking to it's just you look at it and you think, well, hang on, why was he talking to him? What's he doing there? Interesting. And you find out later, actually, he is going there. So that could be.
You heard it here first, then, didn't you?
If that does happen, you heard it here first. If not, let's forget about it. But
one person we haven't seen in the paddock is Tom Sykes.
Ah.
And is that because he's staying or going from World Superbikes? He's obviously lost his ride at Kawasaki. There's no room at
World Superbikes, though. It doesn't necessarily mean that he isn't completely welcome at, let's say,
Kawasaki, JG Speedfit, or whatever that turns out to be, because we know, we understand that maybe sources close to us that JG Speedfit are leaving.
Allegedly.
As sponsors, so will that go back to Quattro Plant? Who knows?
Maybe.
We had a little chat with John Thorns. He'd like to see Tom Sykes back in the BSB paddock, didn't he?
Yeah, he is Mr. Cool Milk, and the team sponsored the Cool Milk sponsor Luke Mossey and the team as well, and I think the sidecar team as well. So from his point of view, and I have to say, I think it'll be interesting also, really. I would like to maybe see him. Didn't he say he got some unfinished business or something in BSB from previously? So why not?
Absolutely. It'd be a good character to have in this paddock as well. It'd be very welcome, fan favourite.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts. If you think maybe Tom Sykes is going to stay, should he stay in World Superbikes? And why as well? If you think he should go, and if you think maybe he is going, if you think he is BSB bound, or maybe somewhere else. then let us know your thoughts. Would it be good for BSB? Would it be bad for World Superbikes to keep hold of him? Could he get an equally better ride in World Superbikes, if not better? No. So why not go to BSB? Why not?
Why would you not?
Exactly. With Leon moving, and if Shane doesn't come back, who would be the main guy? Maybe Jake Dixon. Maybe. I mean, there's
rumours going on about Jake Dixon off to Moto2 next year. Multiple sources telling me that.
Possibly, maybe even I don't know. There does seem to be a bit of a vacuum if what we think might happen does happen. In that Shane Byrne doesn't come back. He's got really no real reason to. He's got nothing to prove. Is what I mean. He's won everything many times, and he might just decide, you know what, guys, I'm all right still earning a few quid on the side from Eurosport. I think I'll just stay here. You know what I mean? He can't have another one of those big crashes. He just can't. And if he gets back on a superbike, there's no guarantee that he won't. And we all want to see Shane Byrne in good health, at least. So he might. Understandable. Nobody would begrudge him if he decided to just stay off the bike.
Take a step back.
Yeah, basically, because he's provided so much spectacular action over the years, hasn't he? So with Haslam going, like I said, there might be a bit of a. There's no outright title contenders who you would easily say, oh yes, he's definitely going to be in. He's definitely maybe Brad Ray, but he might be leaving the paddock as well. Nothing confirmed yet, of course, but there's talk although maybe he could do with another season in BSB just to settle himself down and find his feet. As great as the early, as maybe last year and the early rounds this year were, perhaps you don't want to try and run and then fall flat on your face before you can even walk and win a championship, for example. So that's my thoughts. What do you think? Let us know. Leave your comments in the comments box below. You can tweet us at msportradio on Twitter. And we've still got loads more still to come here on Superbike Show, because we will be incidentally putting those interviews out as single interviews over the next few days, to basically save you from trawling through 2 hours worth of us talking crap. If you wanted to check up on Ryan, Josh, or Tom again, then you can keep an eye out for the Motorsport Radio website and also the Facebook account as well. So let us know your thoughts. Have we had any comments flood in before we talk to MotoGP peeps?
I am just waiting for the comments to actually load up.
Actually, yes, Ibby Watley, yes, of Josh Watley fame. Hello, Ibby. Tuned in.
Hello.
Still. She puts forward, and I'm presuming she's suggesting this as maybe a title contender for next year. James Ellison.
That's if he stays, of course.
Well, where would he go? What would he do?
Well, he's meant to be retiring at the end of the year.
If I was James Ellison, I'd look around and say, well, hang on a minute. If Shakey's not coming back, if Haslam's gone, could be my time. Just stick around another year.
Got to be on the right bike, though.
And that's not guaranteed.
No.
Not necessarily. So
John Hopkins might be coming back. Where's he going to go if Tommy Vidal keeps up his Motor Rapido job at the moment?
Other teams could come good as well. They might find a good, a fantastic setup. It might just
Joe
all click.
Francis on the PR BMW.
That's what I mean. And of course, I would
Gino
never.
Ria's going to come good, do you think, in the second year if he stays with OMG? Josh Elliott if he goes to OMG. Tiger BMW, Honda. There's loads of good teams out there.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe Brad Ray as well. Don't discount him. He's been unlucky and unfortunate in the last few races and rounds in where he hasn't finished perhaps as some people think he should have.
Yes.
So you'd have to say maybe him as well. It's all up in the air in BSB. Maybe some teams aren't going to be in the paddock next year who are there this year. What do you think on that? I don't know, just rumours that we've heard.
Yes, financial and fraudulent. What do we call it?
I think we call it moving on swiftly.
No.
Oh, right, sorry.
Topics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I had a minor heart attack then. Wonder where you were going with that. Anyway, let us know your thoughts. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what we were talking about.
That
Bikes.
doesn't look guilty at all.
Moving on. Don't say anything. Right, MotoGP at Aragon. Kiko's most favourite. At most favourite place. Was it Aragon where you called where it was basically just like one man and a sheep or something? Or was that somewhere else? Or was that Portimao? I can't remember.
Oh, well, it's all the same. They're both so, yeah, Spanish and the Portuguese, obviously. May as well talk the same language.
It's all right. Don't worry, I don't think they're like bikes. So we're fine.
Judging by the grandstands, obviously not in Portugal. Then again, no one's got any money either.
So we were talking about MotoGP.
Yes. Aragon. Probably the one circuit I'd love to get rid of off the MotoGP calendar, but that's just me. Marc Marquez, if results go his way at Aragon, can actually win the title by Thailand. Unbelievable if he gets a good result at Thailand. As long as he leaves Thailand with more than 100 points.
Well, you thought he'd win the title by round 3.
Well, he basically has.
Well, no.
Am I right or wrong? Right, thank you.
Well, wrong, because he's not won yet.
The Vizioso, Marc Marquez has won an Aragon many times, 2013, 2016, 2017. He's looking for 300 pounds at the moment, crashed out in 14 and 15 though. So, bad luck can come around. Dovizioso hasn't done very well at Aragon, I must admit. Only one podium in 2012, that was. He'll be looking to return to the podium, just 7th last year. He was behind even the Aprilia from last year. Valentino Rossi, steady at Aragon. Not really a circuit the doctor gets on well with. 2 podiums from the last 2 races there. Was 5th last year with his broken leg, which is an achievement on its own. One of 4 circuits.
Yeah, that was this one he came back at.
It was the one he came back at after 22 days. But this is one of 4 circuits that he hasn't won at on the MotoGP calendar. Aragon is one. Name the other 3. Put it in the comments below. Jorge Lorenzo was 3rd for Ducati at Aragon last year, and he led for a number of laps. So Jorge Lorenzo, for me, is the favourite this weekend. He is looking to continue Ducati's winning streak that started back at Brno at the Czech round when Dovi won. And then it went to the Red Bull Ring and Lorenzo won. The British Grand Prix got rained off. And then we've just had a Ducati win with Dovizioso in Misano. So it's Lorenzo's turn next. So I think Jorge may well do it. Maverick Vinales still looking to end Yamaha's winless run. It has been a disaster for Yamaha. I don't think Valentino Rossi will at Aragon, but it may well be a Maverick Vinales win that does that. Johan Zarco, not really good form at Aragon. 1 podium, that was back in 2014 for Caterham Suter, so don't expect him to be near the sharp end. Suzuki riders, Alex Rins and Andrea Iannone have both won at Aragon before. Alex Rins in Moto3 in 2013, and Andrea Iannone, the first ever Moto2 race at Aragon, back in 2010. So both of them capable of winning. It'd be interesting to see if they can do that this weekend. Aprilia and Aleix Espargaro are hoping for top 10 return. Aleix Espargaro saying it's going to be difficult to repeat. You can read about that on the motorsport.radio website along with all the other great content on there. But Aleix Espargaro, he was 6th last year at Aragon, so he didn't have a total disaster. Aprilia in the top 10 at Aragon for the last few years. Alvaro Bautista was 9th for them in 2016. KTM, they are hoping for another top 10 at Aragon, finished 15 seconds from the win last year. And just to end on a nice note about my favourite rider, Alvaro Bautista, looking for his 8th top 10 in the in the last 8 races. He has been an unbelievable achievement at Aragon as well. 7 times out of 8 he has been inside the top 10. He was 8th last year for Aspar Ducati. There was only one rider in the entire MotoGP field that has had more consecutive top 10s this year than him in current form. I will let you guess in the comments who that is. So Alvaro Bautista may be on his way towards Superbikes, but he's going to leave it trailblazing in MotoGP.
Okay, thanks for all that. Take a breath. And, so you think then it's all down in Aragon? It's going to either be definitely. I mean, everyone else might as well just go home, according to you. It's either going to be Marquez or Lorenzo. Can anybody have a sniff of a win at Aragon?
No.
Why not?
Danny Pedrosa, maybe. He's not normally too bad at Aragon.
What if Marquez and Lorenzo take each other out?
Oh, well, yeah, but they'll probably take each other out first and second. So, Next up would maybe be one of the Yamahas, Valentino Rossi, maybe Dovizioso. GKs don't go well there, apart from Lorenzo, but I think that's more rider performance than anything else. So, no, I'm sticking to the Marquez or Lorenzo. Maybe an outside chance of Danny Pedrosa.
Interesting. Let us know what you think. Will anybody else potentially win at Kiko's most favourite circuit on the calendar? Give us a comment in the comments box below, wherever you're tuned into this Superbike show on Motorsport Radio. Hello and good evening. Hello to Karim Rahimi, who's tuned in. Kareem Rahimi, sorry. And also Andy Ashton as well, and Robert Stewart, who's all tuned in at the moment, and everybody who has shared the live stream post, because sharing is caring.
Absolutely. We have a comment come in from a friend of mine called Mark, at BSB Nutter is his Twitter handle. So what teams may be leaving then? We have heard that maybe the Lee Hardy team are going to be leaving. We're not sure why. We just heard they might be leaving. Smith's...
Rumours.
Yes, these are rumours. These are not confirmed. But Smith's BMW may also be leaving the paddock. Again, a rumour. A rumour that I can confirm that is no longer true about Tag Racing. They may have been leaving, but I spoke to the team owner, Rob Winfield, and can confirm that he is going to be here for another year. There's a lot of changes, I think, coming in British Superbikes in the next coming couple of years. But, yeah, apparently a few teams thinking of jumping ship already, which is a weird one, considering the British Superbikes year in, year out, probably the most successful British motorsporting brand, going probably higher up than the World Superbike brand at the moment.
Definitely, yeah. In terms of the
commercial value,
how good it is on track, you'd have to say BSB, then touring cars, and then maybe British GT. Those three, and by far the attendance for BSB is, I'd say, a lot better than.
And we do talk about season-long events. We're not talking about the Isle of Man TT or the Northwest 200 or also Grand Prix or the Northern Irish Road Races.
Oh yeah, in terms of like season-long
series, yeah.
So as good as those things are, of course, but on the here in good old England, anyway. A comment earlier on in the show, which I thought I might probably just put to one side, but I'm going to read it out and ask you anyway. This came in from Jack Lee, rather cheeky question. He says, does anyone else feel that Shaky is a bit smug with the news that Haslam's off and won't beat him to a BSB title? Well, of course, he might win the BSB title, but we know what you mean, Jack. So, Kiko, do you think maybe Shane is feeling a bit smug at the moment now that he knows that Haslam is going?
I don't think so, really. I don't think Shaky's all that bothered, really. Leon Haslam will probably win the title if you're going to look at it at points. And also, really, Shaky's main priority at the moment is, of course, to get fit. He's far from fit, so I think he's got bigger fish to fry at the moment. So, no, I don't think he's acting too smug. Maybe he's looking to come back in some form. I don't think he'll be coming back to Paul Bird Motorsport. I think that ship has sailed. That is just going off what we're reading about Glenn Irwin having his contracts apparently ripped up and whatnot, even though he's got a deal for 2019. Well, actually, not rumours, because that was Paul Bird has quite happily come out. It was in MCN that it is a results-driven sport and that he will not hesitate in ripping a contract up. So, and then you've got, there's a lot of teams. I think it all
depends on whether Reading makes an agreement with him.
Don't forget as well, Colin Wright is at Househall Racing. Shane Byrne won a title with Colin Wright back in 2008. So, they are no strangers to success together. How good would that be to get Shane Byrne at Househall Racing Suzuki?
Househall Racing, wow.
I'm not saying that's happening. I should just stress that is just,
tinfoil hat time.
Yeah, it's just my... my way of thinking.
If you are tuned in, by the way, Colin, and we know Colin is an avid listener of the show. Probably the one time he's not tuned in, actually. Let us know. He probably won't, of course.
Thomas Strudwick and Ryan Vickers are. Good evening to both of you guys.
Hello. Yes. So if anyone else knows anything We'll be happy for you to slip us a cheeky DM or something. Tell us about where
Sliding in DMs.
Where maybe you might be heading for next year. We know a lot of riders tuned in at the moment, especially as you just mentioned, Ryan Vickers as well, who's got, according to himself, as you heard in the interview earlier, many irons in the fire, many options open. Let's say, but potentially he wants to be leaving, and maybe, I think, was his preference, I think I extrapolated from that interview, was to perhaps go to Moto 2 or something like that.
Yeah, Junior Moto 2, CV Junior World Championship. Talking of Moto 2,
go on then.
I think we have some Moto 2, don't we? 8 points between the leaders, Francesco Pecco Bagnaia and Miguel Oliveira, Tilly versus Portugal. Both of them off to MotoGP next year, so both will want to go up as champions, and 8 points between. And I tell you what, that's a very close Moto2 championship compared to what a point we were at last year when Franco Morbidelli walked off with it. Brad Binder is now third, Alonso Baldassarri fourth, Joan Mir fifth, Alex Marquez in sixth, all covered by just 6 points. So third to sixth, covered by 6 points, but over 3 race wins behind Pecco Bagnaia. So we've got a big battle for first and second, and a huge battle for third. 26 points covers third to 10th. So we have got massive scraps in Moto2. Sam Lowes hasn't scored points since Brno, but was a winner at Aragon in 2016. And Danny Kent has not scored points since Austria and was on course for a podium at Aragon in 2015, but he crashed in the last corner of the last lap. So British riders needing good results this weekend, but all eyes are on that championship gap at the top. Pecco Bagnaia versus Miguel Oliveira. 8 points. A win for Oliveira slashes it to 3, but a win for Bagnaia, that's if they finish first and second. A win for Oliveira and a second place for Bagnaia slashes the points gap to 3, but a win for Bagnaia and a second place for Oliveira will put that gap up to 13. And going into Thailand, which is a new round, 13 points may well just be a good amount to go into for the Italian.
We've not had any confirmation. Maybe I missed it. I don't know if we definitely have or not. But have we had any confirmation about who is going to replace I mean, we've not even talked about the incident from a couple of weeks ago yet, have we? It's already been well talked about anyway, so I don't think we need to wade into.
Well, the breaking news.
Well, it's not really. I mean, it was worldwide news, but there's going to be. I don't know if there was any. I don't know. Who am I thinking of now? Yoli Torres. He's not going to be in that team. Who did you mention it was earlier?
Xavi Cardelus.
I can't remember anyway.
Who's replacing Romano Fenati in Moto2?
Is that confirmed?
Yes,
Okay.
It's Xavi Cardelus and Doran rider. So another passport has bought a seat. Excuse me, did I say that out loud?
Hello, if you tuned in. By the
In
way.
Andorra La Bella.
Good God. Okay.
It's very true though, because if you look at Avintia, Belgian rider Xavier Simeon, we know that was a bought seat, passport. No, don't get me wrong, he's not bad, but there's better riders to put on those bikes.
You know, a lot of, well, I'd say like 95% of all world motorsport relies on people having money, i.e. buying a seat, either in on a bike or in a car.
In World Championship, you should be on merit. Loris Baz should have been on that.
But it's not, though. Don't fool yourself. You know it's
Loris, not. I know it's not.
So why pretend to be all outraged? Oh, it should be on pure merit. Everything should be great, and it should all be on the BBC for free. It's just not. It's just not that way.
On BT Sport.
Life just isn't. It just isn't. So
should be on Motorsport Radio.
Exactly. That's where it should be. Hey, we should get the MotoGP. Never mind.
Thinking out loud.
Maybe I should.
Ed Sheeran.
So Sam Lowes, what's going on with him? Is he going to deliver something?
Pizza?
No, then. It's
not looking good. I mean, he could. Let's be honest. He's won there before. Excuse me, as I just attacked my microphone. He could be. He could do it. Let's not fool ourselves. He's absolutely possible to do that. Aragon, he won it in 2016. Difficult round there last year for him in the Aprilia team. He didn't score any points at all. But yeah, Sam Lowes definitely in with a shout. Crashed out after passing someone at Mazzano. We know that SII machine is not quite up to where it should be. It's not just Sam Lowes who's struggling. Ika Lekuona is struggling as well. So, yeah, Sam Lowes could definitely do with a result. He needs a result. He's got a contract for next year, let's not forget. So he's not in danger of losing a ride and not having a ride to go to at the end of the season. He's going back to Grassini Racing. Of course, the team that he took the 2016 Aragon Moto2 race win with. So he's got form round here at that circuit, although that was on a KTM, not on a... that was on the Calyx, not on a KTM. If he does win on a KTM, he will become the first rider in Moto2 history to win on 3 different makes of motorcycle.
Ooh.
So, lots of history to be made if Sam Lowes can deliver.
If he can deliver, and not pizzas. It was disrespectful to say about the man from... where's he from, Derby? I don't know. I don't know.
Lincolnshire.
Is he?
Right? Yes.
Who lives in Derby, then? I don't know.
Loads of people live in Derby.
I'm getting confused. I'm
Ex-Grand Prix commentator Chris Carter lives in Derby, actually.
I'm sure. Anyway, never mind. Whatever. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, shut up, Forbes. Moto 3, what's going on?
You say that, you're so concerned. Jorge Martin needs Marco Bezzecchi. The latter, being Marco Bezzecchi, has to deliver this weekend. He doesn't need to deliver any pizzas. He needs to deliver a top draw result. Because he cannot have another crash, because otherwise it will be a long way back, you've got to think, for his championship. He should not have crashed out at Mazzano. He looked like he had that race win done. And I can tell you, in the grandstands at Mazzano, everyone was a Marco Bezzecchi fan, and it fell flat. The atmosphere was very, very flat when he crashed, and there was a few tears actually next to me. So Jorge Martin needs Marco Bezzecchi. Fabio Di Gianantonio is 29 points behind, but he's still with a shadowed title. He can go well at Aragon, so it's not all done. Aaron Canet, 48 points behind Jorge Martin. He needs a good result. His championship challenge has really gone wrong. It's gone south.
Can it do it?
Can it not? I don't think so.
No, we can't.
Nicolo Bulliger looking to return to some good form. He was up there in Mazzano, in all fairness, got wiped down a massive 5-bike pile-up. Dennis Foggia returns to a track at which he made his debut at last season, and he led on his debut, so expect Foggia to go well. Jakob Kornfeil could act as a good number 2 to Marco Bezzecchi. That Prustel GP Racing KTM outfit are a superb team. Keep your eyes out on John McPhee, Philip Ertel, Marcos Ramirez. All of those scored a top 10 at Aragon last year. And just to put into perspective about Aragon and how close it is, 2.5 seconds covered the entire point scoring leaderboard last year. The top 15 covered by 2.5 seconds. Name me another sport you get that in.
It's quite a few, actually.
Go on.
BSB.
Top 15.
Yeah, it could happen.
Covered by 2.5 seconds in the race.
Possibly. Yeah, I've seen it happen in Formula 1 as well.
I will make a £500 bet on with you now.
Stop betting. You've got a problem.
I haven't. I just like taking money off people. My girlfriend owes me £20 now because she showed up today. Lauren, if you're watching,
that's
waiting for me score.
Anyway, we all wish Kiko the very best in getting over his issues of in betting. It's not a laughing matter. Moto 3 then, and yeah, that's it. Right. Any opinions on that? Let us know. If you happen to know some news or information or any tips that maybe Kiko can race down to the bookies and put a little bet on, then let us know. It's at M Sport Radio on the old Twitteroos, Facebook. It's Motorsport Radio, and you can all just leave your comment in the comments below. Don't forget to share as well, because Motorsport Radio almost 2 years old now, and we're creeping towards 10,000 Facebook.
Gone up tenfold this year. We've gone up tenfold in less than a year.
I suppose, yeah. But since we started, anyway. Okay. I'm judging it by the time we actually started, which was 2 years ago, on October the something or other. It was the penultimate round of Cool Fab Racing, I remember. We just started up that weekend. Myself and Tom Brooks were at, I think, Red Lodge, and yeah, we'll be having some anniversary look-backs.
Absolutely fantastic.
Exactly. At Motorsport Radio, and how far we've come, I suppose. And if you just found out about us and you're wondering what the hell we're talking about, well, we're only 2 years old, Motorsport Radio. Yeah, feels a long.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
and
yeah.
where was you before that? I was reading your
nowhere.
biography.
Absolutely nowhere. Wasn't even born.
Hey.
No.
Well, it's funny. Well, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're going to talk a bit to fill time. We'll talk about Tom Sykes. Let your comments keep flooding in. But for those of you who don't know, we're going to share a little bit of Lester's personal history. Now, you used to live in Canada, didn't you? You used to live in Canada.
I did, yes, for 3 years.
You're an international jet setter. What did you do in Canada? Have we got enough time to fill all your little jobs?
We're just out of time, I'm afraid.
Yeah, there's that many.
But yeah, no, I did live in Canada 10 years ago. And I was there for 3 years, and got my first ever job on a radio station there at CKZZ Z95.3, which is now, I think, still Z95, but it did used to be called Virgin Radio, and they flipped the names and stuff. And lived downtown as well, and that was good. Many little jobs. You did ask about this sort of thing, anyway.
I did.
And this is what we call filling for time.
I love it. I just love the way he just talks about his life. Oh, it's just so funny.
I'm sorry.
What was the office job you did? And you went out for lunch one day. And you decided not to go back, and then wondered why you didn't have a job to go to the next week.
Which one? I did that so many times.
Didn't you go around ringing people to pay their debts as well?
A couple of jobs like that, yes. I was a collections agent, which is ironic because they now phone me.
Love it. And what else was the other thing? I mean, it's well documented you have a gastric band. What fast food place did you work in?
I worked in Subway as well. Yeah, my very first ever job while I was out there. I don't know why this is suddenly a thing now in a Superbike show, but whatever.
It's just funny.
First ever job that we had, we were wandering down there. Our money was starting to run out because we only had enough money for like a few weeks, and we were just wondering how we were going to get a job. We walked in Saturday morning to the nearest Subway, which was round the corner from the hostel. We said, "Is there any jobs going?" They said, "Yes, there is." So we started that day. It was terrible and appalling, but it gave us a few money. It gave us a few dollars.
And didn't you also have a fight as well while she was out there?
I might have done. Yes, it was drunk things happened. So
one chance too many.
Oh look, nobody's tuned in anymore.
That's the time. Oh my god.
But yeah, a little bit about my history. I'm sure you all know Kiko and his black pudding fetishes and various things. And there you go. There you go. There's like 10 years of my history, right there, minus a big gap.
3 minutes.
In 3 minutes. So there you go.
We'll put that out as a separate little video clip, and we'll call it Meeting Lester Forbes.
Knowing me, Lester Forbes, knowing you.
Right.
That's
the thing that we can do.
I'm hearing as well that we were talking about bikes.
Oh, wow. We've gone off topic. What a surprise. Are we going to talk about World Superbikes then?
Do we have to?
Oh, it is effort, isn't it?
God. I guess that's the sort of thing that most people, when they get to talk about World Superbikes, like, oh yeah, BSB, oh yeah, MotoGP. Oh yeah, World Superbikes.
It's a bit like Moto2 qualifying. It just brings Saturday qualifying to a bit of a dull end, and World Superbikes always does this.
Well, it's their own fault for having like a 9-month break. Because everyone forgets.
They were off on a maternity leave.
Yeah, because everyone literally forgets that it was even, and then anyway. So the Portimao is the thing that they had. What happened? To be honest, didn't even see it. To be honest, I was at BSB. So
we had Johnny Ray, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
And anything that Johnny Ray tends to be in, it's what's that word beginning with D?
Now even the championship,
dominant. That's the one.
Well, now even the championship is starting to call him boring as well. Well, not him boring, but it's calling his dominance.
The worst thing is, you know it's bad when Gregorio Lavia calls you uncharismatic. Oh, well, I forgot. He was so bloody big when he was there anyway. Gregorio Lavia, the rider that never won a race, I should add.
Oh. Good evening, Mr. Lavia. If you tuned in, you'd like to...
if you're from the north, Lavilla.
That Lavilla. If you'd like to fire back at Kiko's claims, that... yeah, well, I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, Johnny Ray, an easy double win.
I don't even know how to say it. He just... Yeah, it was an easy double win. He just walked it. Eugene Laverty's weekend promised so much and, gave very, very little. After Xavi Flores wiped him out at turn 3, and I think he was only 7th in race 2. He wasn't even top of pretty because it's Lorenzo Savadori was. Lorenzo Savadori, hello, even though you tuned in. Marco Melandri puts the Aruba.it Ducati on the podium in both races, but Chaz Davies was 4th in both races. So Chaz Davies' championship slipping from his grasp, as if he had any grasp on it anyway. Yamaha, mixed weekend completely, 2nd and 3rd for Michael van der Mark, and 10th and 11th for Alex Lowe's. Don't know what's going on there, but van der Mark now closing down Chaz Davies in the championship for runners-up position, so the Dutchman is flying. Loris Baz, 6th in race 1, best result of the year for him and the Altea BMW squad. They will be dying and desperate for a podium before the year is out, but expect it if it rains, not to bother. Tom Sykes, 5th place in both races, hardly something to shout about. Mathematically now cannot win the championship. If Johnny Ray wins race 1 at Magny Court and Chaz Davies is lower than 3rd, well, the champion goes to Northern Ireland again. World Superbikes will go back to Jonathan Ray yet again. That kid is just formidable at the moment.
It was actually Alex Lowe's who lives in Derby. That's who I was thinking of earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. Lives in Derby. Just checked out his Twitter. Says it's in Derby. Because I remember years ago when I did an interview with him on another radio thing, and the topic came up that he lives in Derby because there was a fellow interviewee who was a female and she was flirting with him because she was in love with him, and we found it.
Who was this? Come on, name and shame.
It was Rebecca James.
The one that
did a round of Cool Fab. At
the NEC as well, with Tom Brooks 2 years ago.
Yes.
How did it feel to be the third wheel that time?
Don't know. It was a learning weekend, let's say.
Oh, right, okay. What did you learn?
I learned...
it's skirting around that issue.
But I learnt all about Johnny Ray's dominance of various things. But yeah, was he right to... Was that Lavilla right to say? Was he speaking out of line? We know he was probably correct in saying that if there's one guy winning everything all the time, it does kind of get a bit turn-off-ish. But should he have said it anyway? Should he not be promoting the championship?
You'd think that World Superbike organisers would want to celebrate such dominance in their championship.
I mean, if it were me putting a PR spin on things, I'd say, we've got such an amazing crop of talent here, and it's up to everybody else to try and beat one of the very best. And right now, we're enjoying a golden era right now in World Superbikes, where we're so lucky to be able to witness Jonathan Ray and the team in such a rich vein of form that, yes, they're dominating a lot, but we'll look back at this and think, wow, what a golden era this currently is, or then was. That's what I'd say if I were in his position. That would be my PR spin on things.
Not sure I buy the argument on that. It's a golden era. I've got to admit, I don't think it's a golden era. I will slightly agree with you, though, that, he is the king at the moment. Johnny Ray is the absolute king of World Superbike, so it's up to someone to dethrone him.
I'd say if we what's that game show where you have to sort of convince people with a lie? I can't remember what it is, what it was called. Anyway, I think if we all try and say something nice about something that we don't necessarily believe, and try and win an argument based on that. I forgot the name of the show. Maybe someone can tell me. But I think that should happen. We should generally, anyway, especially when we're talking about things that have a slightly negative slant to things, and instead of going off in a mental spiral where you're increasing negativity about said person or said team or championship, we should just look at it for a second from the other point of view and say, you know what? Let's just give this like 5 minutes of promotion and just say nice things about it for 2 minutes before going back to being miserable about it. But Jonathan Rea could potentially actually do this year what he didn't do last year and win maybe a big award, which was so notable and rather unexpected as well, from the BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Wouldn't that be great?
See, I think the thing is now that kind of in a way, what World Superbikes has just done is create something quite good, because Greg LeVier, he wasn't a massive crowd puller in his day, and he's just slagged off Johnny Rea. So hopefully now Johnny Rea will gain more fans. People go over and support him.
Well, in a perverse way, it's done. Maybe
it's raised the profile because people are talking about it. We're talking about it.
He's done a Bernie Eccles stunt, hasn't he? He's come out, said some guff, and now we're suddenly talking about the thing that he said, and as a result of that, we're sort of talking about the championship as well.
Should also credit Charlie Iscott for asking such a forward and blunt question. I love Charlie Iscott.
What exactly was his question? I'd love to know what it was to get that response of him.
Some people say that World Superbikes is boring given Johnny Rea's dominance. How's your take on things? Don't get much better. I like things like that.
Has he still got his media pass?
Machine? He'd feel lucky to have one.
Anyway, a couple of comments flooded in regarding this, because obviously it's ignited debates, which maybe was kind of his intention anyway. I'd probably suggest it wasn't, but as you said, it's got us talking about it. Stefan Nielsen says, can't Dorna make Rea go to GP, make that switch happen if they really want it? That's an interesting one. Why not have a compulsory wildcard non-championship point scoring thing happen?
I think it should be the other way around. I think GP riders should go to Worlds, raise the profile of it, and actually make it so that Johnny Rea's achievements are put in some sort of context. If he can beat Valentino Rossi, Marc Marquez, well, it sums up the guy, doesn't it?
But David Graham, he's been on and said, well, how about the rest of the teams in World Superbikes are told to up their game or pack up and go home? David, I don't think we'd have any teams left if you said that to him, but maybe. It is ultimately down to everyone else to catch up if they want to beat Rea. But he also comes back, David, and says, well, if Jonathan was, say, English, he'd be the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not sure I agree with you there. But thank God he's not English, says David Graham on our Facebook stream.
It's a hot topic. I've got Malaysian curry on its way. I don't think I could do some of the spice in here.
Comments from David Graham there, who you can address your anger and ire to. But that everyone's allowed to comment as long as it's clean and usable in a nice family-friendly environment. We'll probably read them out. And we don't just want you to agree with us as well. If you disagree, just like David Graham there, with everything that we're saying, or mostly the things that Kiko was saying, then you can please jump on and have your say. It is allowed here. Maybe not on other podcasts or on other networks, but here we welcome a nice bit of polite disagreement, let's say, because it always makes a show a little
But why
bit
do you want to
interesting.
disagree with something that's always right, aka myself?
Moving on. Talking about Bautista. You mentioned it earlier. Going to
Bautista the Brave.
Going to World Superbikes. Is that a good thing? Is it a good thing for him? Is it a good thing for World Superbikes? What will he add to World Superbikes, and what will it do for him and his career?
It's going to be a good move. It's going to do a bigger move for World Superbikes than it is for Alvaro Bautista, because Alvaro Bautista, in a way, that's going to show him as coming down out of MotoGP. Very hard to... It's easy to come out of MotoGP and go to World Superbikes, but it's extremely hard to go the other way, World Superbikes into MotoGP. Partly because no one really knows how good anyone is in World Superbikes. He's going to
find out, isn't he?
Exactly. I think he's really going to shake things up. Alvaro Bautista, you know he's going to prove a point.
That might be his intention.
I think Alvaro Bautista, he's on to Ducati. He's not gone to Altea BMW, which in all due respect is not a championship-winning front-running bike. He has gone. He's done a bit of what Max Biaggi's done. Took a step back, gone to World Superbikes, and I think that he and Jonathan Rea really could be the riders to beat. And it's the Spanish influence. The Spanish round at Aragon is the worst attended one in, I think, on the calendar besides Qatar, but you know, there's only so many camels you can get at the sale. So, in all fairness, Bautista is revitalising the Spanish market. He's mega popular. Alvaro Bautista is quite popular. He's a name. He's been in Grand Prix for 16 years. Jesus. He knows his way about. He's a I don't know about a household name, but he's definitely a name that you'd think, oh yeah, I know Alvaro Bautista. But I think he could do a little bit of a John Kaczynski. Come out of Grand Prix after so many years in Grand Prix, straight into World Superbikes. Maybe not win it the first year or the second year, but definitely he's going to be a champion, I think, in the not too distant future.
Champion?
I honestly think Alvaro Bautista, and I'm not saying that because I'm a fan of his, but I don't see any reason why Alvaro Bautista cannot challenge Jonathan Rea.
As the president of the Bautista fan club, I'm not saying that just because I'm the president. I do actually believe he will dominate for the next 20 years. So, self-confessed BF of Mr. Bautista.
They're coming out.
There's nothing wrong with having a fan club, I suppose, and there's nothing wrong with liking any particular rider or team, for example. Everybody else seems to do it, but me. I sometimes go out of my way to stress that I'm a complete neutral. Neutral.
I get away with saying that at 7 minutes to 10 at the evening.
No, I don't necessarily. Other than our fantastic clients of Motorsport Media, of course, we don't necessarily have any particular. Or maybe if we do, it's anyone who'll probably stop and talk to us in the paddock. Really, we're like, hey, he's all right.
Well, the Godfreys, for example, lovely set of people. All the best, really, for them.
Yeah. So if anyone,
I'd like to see Ben stick around actually next year on that Team IMR BMW. I honestly think he could pull off a few good results.
Move up or.
No, stay in stock sales.
Okay. Maybe, perhaps, IMR might field Biking BSB.
They were going to early in the year.
But then all the riders left.
Well, no, they were going to do it with another rider, actually. Who's also in British Superbikes and had a very good weekend just gone.
Fair enough. Do you want to elaborate?
I can go as... No.
Okay, so there we go. There's there could be then, if I'm putting a cat amongst an IMR pigeon, we could say that they're eyeing up a potential run in BSB next year. It's not out of the question, let's say.
Well, we'll have to talk to him at the NEC Arena again, won't we?
Yeah, let's get him on. Ian, if you tuned in, you're more than welcome to come on the show, as is any rider.
Absolutely.
As well. And we hope to be in attendance at maybe Brands Hatch as well. So yes. to get, we'll be stalking everybody in the paddock. So if you see us wandering about, we'll want some news from you. Just give you some forewarning there. Right, so have we had any other comments come in? I've been refreshing my my comments thing, but it seems to have frozen, so I can't see any new things.
You ought to defrost that then.
Hello to everybody who's just tuned in to the Superbike Show and Motorsport Radio for the first time ever. Just want to welcome you guys. If you don't know what we're about, well, we're all about motorsport radio. And sometimes, yes, you can
we've
watch
had a comment. Neil Robert Baragry has said the World Superbike paddock could be in for a surprise with Bautista joining them. Thank you. Sums up my actually supports me. Also, Neil Robert Baggery, that is. Have you discussed the possible comings and goings in BSB yet?
Well, we're just going to talk about the rumour mill.
We are.
And this, I should probably put a caption up just to say that this is rumour, just so anyone wants to take us out of context and say, look what all these guys are saying. But yeah, there's been lots of rumours, and none of what you might hear in the next few minutes is necessarily true, Kiko.
Glenn Irwin, we've said already that his future may well not be lying at Paul Bed Motorsport Ducati for 2019, although he has got multiple options. That's quite a public thing. We're not going to go over that too much, but we've heard rumours that Luke Mossey's going to be on the move. McCann's Yamaha and OMG are his where he's rumoured to be going. We are not sure whether that's happening, but Luke Mossey possibly on the move. OMG Racing, we know, are looking to expand to 2 bikes for next year. They were to expand to 2 bikes at Assen with Josh Elliott and Gino Rea. Jake Dixon has apparently signed for Aspar Moto 2. Multiple sources have suggested that, both in the MotoGP paddock and over here in the British paddock as well. Our sources close to home suggesting all of that. Tom Sykes and Scott Redding, are they both on their way to BSB? How good would that be to get both of those guys over here?
That would be good if they both came over.
Absolutely. Imagine them in the same team.
No,
of which that is. Imagine that. That is the rumour at the moment. Bradley Ray has rumoured to have re-signed with build-based Suzuki. James Ellison may be staying for another year. Ben Curry, we are hearing rumours, has gone to Bournemouth Kawasaki, but apparently JG Speedfit are no longer their sponsor. We say this is all rumour, if you're not hearing all this back home, but we do not know how true or false any of this is. We've got some World Superbike rumours as well, but that's the British Superbike ones. Quite big indeed.
Yeah, and it would be very interesting. Personally, I would like to see. I mean, I know he's been on the he's been on Motorsport Radio quite a few times since last season. Ben Curry. How
would he respond to that rumour?
I would, if I was putting words in his mouth, I would probably say, I'm not going to do the accent, but I probably think he was looking at options. Let's say that's the usual stock rider phrase, that they've got options and they're looking at options. Basically, they don't know exactly. Probably wait to the end of the season, as most people will, and then we'll find out perhaps at Motorcycle Live, which, by the way, you can get your tickets for right now because we'll be there.
We will. We will indeed. If you see us, pappers, we like, we'll share it about. Yep, pappers. With the freaking 80s phoned. We've had a couple of comments come in. I must get to them. Hello to Andy Norgate, who's watching, from mechanic at Morello. John Whelan has said Kilo, he's called me. That's lovely, isn't it? Lovely. My initials are KG, kilogram. Got a plus sign next to it.
What's he said?
He has said, how did you rate Kevin Manfredi's ride at Silverstone? Now, Kevin Manfredi, if you don't know, was the replacement ride at Morello Kawasaki. He had I've got to say, looked on course for a podium from where I was watching at Silverstone, the Morello Kawasaki, back where it belonged, but a bit of a tyre issue across the board, not just for Morello, but across the entire Stock 1000 Supersport 600 grid, seemed to put a hold to that. But Kevin Manfredi, we're hearing, is back on the bike at Brands Hatch. So I tell you, Kevin Manfredi, not many riders could adapt to British circuits. Claudio Corti has done that at Stealth Quick Connect Academy. He's done a very, very good job considering he's never seen after places. And Kevin Manfredi has been also very, very well, very good indeed. Maybe we're in for an all-Italian lineup somewhere next year. Who knows? But now I think he's done all right. Will Hussey has also said hello. So
hey, Will.
Hello to you as well. Jane Goff has said, you answered to most names, Kenko. Yes, I do. Oh God! Just started juggling my phone about. Sorry, excuse me, as I just caused an earthquake. Yes, SpongeBob, Milk, 2 Sugars, Kenko, something else beginning with a K. I'm not going to go there. But no, most names.
Indeed.
Holding his breath there. K. clenched.
I was editing myself because I'm trying to be professional. Hello to Steve Buckingham. If you tuned in, by the way. Hello.
I still owe Linda Hacksaw a drink, apparently, according to this. I owe everyone. I owe John Whelan 20 quid, I'm sure.
Breaking news: Kiko owes somebody food or drink.
Food and or drink.
Yeah, or both. Yeah. So. Literally entered the paddock with a carrier bag bulging with meat and bacon black pudding and
Everquip's picnic box, we should call that from now on.
That was just your breakfast.
That was just my breakfast.
Yeah. Anyway,
did you have a burger from Everquip?
No, I didn't.
I'm sure you did.
Nope.
I had one.
No, because ask anybody with a gastric band, the thought of eating dry bread with a massive burger out in public just fills you with fear because it'll get stuck, and then I won't go into details with what happens. Kiko knows, but it's just best that you don't eat anyway. So,
it comes out one end.
Stuart will know exactly.
It goes through processing.
Stuart knows almost exactly what I'm talking about. So it's Stuart. Rumour mill for BSB. If you, by the way, want to drop a cheeky rumour our way, maybe doesn't even have to be true, to be honest, if it just keeps us talking, especially over the winter, let us know. It's at M-Sport Radio on Twitter, and you can send us a confidential email if you like. We won't, if you do that, we probably won't read out your name. Anyways, it's hello@motorsport.radio. We do the old-fashioned emails. hello@motorsport.radio is the email address. Other rumours as well in World Superbikes, Kiko.
Yes, Argentina, I contacted a source yesterday. So this is, what do we call this? Primary data, I think we could call this. I contacted a source to do with myself and also in broadcasting. I said... So
you phoned Keith?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did for something else. But I didn't talk to him about this. And Argentina, in the San Juan province, I think it is, the circuit, apparently, the event is going to be more of a suck it and see. Apparently, it is not. No one really knows whether this event's going to go ahead. There is a circuit in Argentina at the moment for World Superbikes, but progress is still not looking like it's quite ready to hold around. But yeah, certainly not ideal. So Argentina, that's in a few weeks' time. I think it's a couple of weeks' time before World Superbike goes all South American on us. 3 races idea is being toyed within World Superbikes. Now, that ain't a bad thing either. Could do with 3 races. Could do with a couple of World Supersport races, though. You can't rely on World Superbikes. You need
What about
World Supersport, especially when World Supersport is as good as it is. And just to squeeze in the last bit of rumour, HRC are going to be involved a bit more in Honda Superbike project at Red Bull Honda. And like we said earlier...
Is that news or rumour?
That's kind of rumour news. It's not confirmed, but it looks like it's going to happen. Just to confirm what we said at the top of the show, Northern Ireland is off the calendar for 2019. That round's no longer going ahead. And... Bruno is rumoured to have pulled out of the contract as well. So World Superbike's losing circuits all over the place. And if Argentina doesn't pull off, they might have an issue.
Blimey. Bruno.
Good evening to Tom Ward, who's watching. Tom, we played your interview earlier, mate. So
you missed it. You just tuned in. Oh, bloody hell. But yeah, hello. Anyway, Tom, and to Ryan, and to Josh, or maybe if anyone else is tuned in. Hello. By the way, if you could give us a quick cheeky share, that would be great.
Yeah, that's very appreciated.
Incredibly. As Motorsport Radio approaches its 2-year anniversary in October. And, by the way, if you missed it earlier, we were talking about October the 1st, the date when the Motorsport Awards, registered trademark, officially begins. Yes, we open up as the official broadcaster of the Motorsport Awards. We help collect data, let's say, and we will be putting a lot of the. Thanks, Kiko.
Official broadcaster.
Well, we are. We are the official broadcaster of the Motorsport
I'll let
Awards.
you have it.
Yeah, you will, because it's ours. But yeah, Motorsport Awards opens on the 1st of October, and it is your chance to nominate who you think should be in receipt of a official Motorsport Award. And you can head to the motorsportawards.com, and on the 1st of October, that is when all the nominations open, from the most obvious things like best rider, best team, best event, best championship, best investment, for example, who might actually do best in, let's say, I don't know, best engineering as well, who might do really well there. And it's, I suppose, your chance to recognise people who don't usually get nominated for a Motorsport Awards. You could even nominate yourself. That could happen.
Who would do that?
You.
Yes, you are quite correct.
Yeah. Well,
should just
Best
say
Commentator Award is actually is not available for contractors or employees of Motorsport Media, so that's you ruled out. Although I personally, I mean, I've got nominations in my own head, and maybe you know of other commentators. Yeah. Okay. If so, then literally days away from opening the nominations for the first ever Motorsport
ex-World
Awards.
Superbike commentator Jake Sanson could have a little run out.
Don't think he ever was he? Oh, he did like a practice, I think.
Free practice session.
Yeah. Well, potentially he could nominate himself. Maybe the World Superbike World Feed commentator and co-founder of Motorsport Radio, Tom Brooks. Maybe he could nominate himself. He's no longer associated with Motorsport Media, so yeah, he could do a good job. I've actually not heard him doing that world feed because we don't get it in the UK. Get it. And can we? If you go back on the Dorna website on the playback thing on the whatever the thing I never clearly listened to, can you hear him on that?
Not sure.
I don't know.
Not sure at all. Just had a comment come in from John Whelan. He's confirming that I owe him £20, but I'll put it on Kevin for a top 5 at Brands, double or quit. I'll take that. I'll take a double or quit on that. I'm not sure Kevin Manfredi will get a top 5 at Brands. Top 6, as in 6 to 10, yes, but top 5? I like to be proven wrong. Steve Buckingham, if you're watching, get your £100 ready.
Are you betting on him getting a top 5 or against him?
Against him.
Oh, okay. Okay, John Whelan, if you fancy that, then...
He's part of the Morello team, I should stress, and I will be collecting £100 off Steve Buckingham when Ben Curry wins the British Supersport Championship as well. As me and Steve had a bet at the start of the year. I said £100 says Ben Curry wins it. He said £100 says Jack Kennedy wins it.
Stop betting! Jesus Christ, you've got a problem.
No, I can afford to do that, and I'll be taking the £100
said every person who before they got into like debt. So when you see Kiko being wheeled about in the paddock with his legs broken, I can afford it. Don't worry. I'm paying them back in black pudding.
Correct. I don't know if Steve's like if Steve's like a black pudding. If Steve likes black pudding.
Anyway, so
we've digressed again.
Oh, that's breaking news. I was talking about, you were asking me about my 3 years in Canada earlier. Who cares about that? But
it was only 2 anyway.
3 years. Yes, back when...
Just 2 years on the visa.
I was an immigrant.
Illegal.
Anyway, right, so moving on to the end of the show, because, well, we've talked about everything that we need to talk about. Any last-minute bit of breaking news or gossip? No? Nothing
at all. Nothing at all indeed. I've just been reminded by my good friend Elliot York. We was going on about personal stories earlier. He was on about the time I threw a mustard sachet at Everquick Racing team owner Stuart Everard, because someone threw it at me and I needed to get rid of it before it went on me, so I launched it and it got stuck in his beard. So Stuart Everard, if you're watching, apologies, it was funny. It wasn't, but it was, but you know.
And that's how Kiko ended up with the black eye.
Not from black pudding.
No. Kiko does the thing that women do with the cucumbers on their eyes. That's Kiko with black pudding. So.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else like cucumber then.
And on that note, thank you very much for tuning in to the Superbike Show. This has been a Motorsport Media production for Motorsport Radio. My name's Lester, Kiko Giles, and we will be back next week.
Yeah, why not?
Probably. Yeah, it depends on what we're doing. But if we're not doing anything, that means we will be back next week. Right, off to watch Question Time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good night.
Sports Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.